Hey everybody, we're going to get started here in a moment. Thanks for coming out. This is awesome. Yeah. Really pumped to have everybody here. So tonight, obviously, we're going to talk about mental performance, mental toughness training, and how we can all get better at that. So thank you for coming. Couple rules. Number one, you have to have fun. If you're not having fun, you have to leave the room right now, okay? Next, you have to learn a couple of things. And lastly, and most importantly, we have to apply what we're learning here today, okay? So what we want to do is be able to take 1, 2, maybe 3 things out of this room and apply it to our sport, to our exercise regimen, to our coaching, to our parenting. I love that we see so many different people in this room, different ages, different sports, and that's what it's all about right now, because everybody should be able to walk away with a couple things to get better at any of one of those categories. All right, to start, we're going to start off with just a little video that to me defines mental performance training. So this kind of culminates the last 4 or 5 different jobs I've had, last 15 years of working with athletes and doing strength and conditioning to help reduce the risk of injury and help get these athletes mentally tougher. So sit back and enjoy.
Put your mind to it and you really focus on breaking through and getting it done, that you can definitely get it better.
Self-talk, the conversation you have with yourself or even with your teammates can help you to go out and perform at a better level. Right? And we want to try and get that self-talk with you guys to be as strong as possible before games in practice so that you guys perform better. So it's unrealistic to think that I'm going to block everything out. It's not possible. But it's what you do with those thoughts and how you choose to either use them or not use them. That's the important thing. Have your phone? Can I use your phone? The game 30 seconds. Is it off? 30 seconds at a time. And if you add up all those 30 seconds at the end of 90 minutes, you'll have good performance. But if you're worried about the 89th minute and it's only the 5th minute, is it turned off? I just want to time it. So for me, that brings up a lot of great memories. And most importantly, what that brings up is relationships. And that's what it all comes down to in sport, athletics, any coaching endeavor, parenting. creating quality relationships is going to increase everybody's participation in that activity and, most importantly, the enjoyment of it. So my mindset, I'll give you a little bit of a background about me. Besides my pink scooter up here, so just in case anybody's wondering, I tore my Achilles a couple weeks ago, so that's why I'm rocking a cool pink scooter. But my mindset began at a very young age. My father, he was a boxer and a martial artist, and my mother, she was a triathlete, physical therapist, and she currently owns her own Pilates studio. And myself, I was a multi-sport athlete, and I think it's really important for everybody in this room to understand that. From a very young age, I was playing baseball, soccer, surfing, snowboarding, riding BMX bikes, playing every sport that I could get my hands on. And for me, that was important because it allowed me to stay healthy throughout my youth athletic career. So just to acknowledge a couple of the places that I've been before, and most importantly, really what I've taken away from those places. I started off at the University of Hartford as a soccer player there, and I was fortunate enough to get an athletic scholarship, which is pretty rare. That happened a lot because of the mental training that I did, but most importantly because of my parents who were there for me, who helped encourage me. They didn't really push me too much. I kind of found that motivation and drive on my own, and then worked really hard to earn that. After being a soccer player at Hartford, I stayed on as a college coach there, both coaching soccer and strength and conditioning. And then most importantly, I was doing a lot of youth soccer coaching. Now that to me was the biggest piece of my development as a coach. Okay, I worked with kids who were 6 years old all the way up to 26-year-old athletes who are in the collegiate setting. From there, I moved on to Princeton University, where I learned the importance of being able to adapt. Okay, we had 35 different teams at Princeton, and I had to be able to train a squash player at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I had to walk across and train a football player at 7 o'clock in the morning. And it was very, very important for me to understand the mentality of a squash player who just moved here from Egypt and has never even been in the United States to a Princeton football player who grew up just around the corner. Very different people, and learning how to adapt and send the correct message that's going to get through to them, that was crucial. Following Princeton University, I went to Iona College as the head strength conditioning coach there, and here I learned how to organize myself. It was 21 teams, over 300 athletes, and me. And I got there and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? The most important part of that was I met my wife Bailey there. So she helped me organize a lot of things. She's great with technology and really supportive, so she was a super big supportive part of me being there at Iona. Following Iona, I moved on to Seton Hall University, and there I learned quality over quantity. So we only had 14 teams at Seton Hall, but I was only mainly responsible for the soccer and the basketball teams. I helped out with all the other teams, but this allowed me to travel with those teams, eat meals with those teams, work on their nutrition, and really see what it was to travel in the Big East Conference, you know, flying from a Friday night game in Creighton and then going all the way over to Villanova, and seeing how those players adapted to that travel was really important. The mental side of things kicked in big there. That's also where I got my master's degree in sports psychology, so it's fun to really implement that right away. And then most importantly, now I work here with Barton Health. Yeah, and with Barton Performance by Altus. So here, I mean, talk about variety, talk about holistic, and our three main pillars is eating well, training well, and restoring well. And I remember meeting with Chris Proctor like 2 years ago about this position. I don't know if Chris is here. Yeah, there he is. And he told me about this vision he had about this fantastic building, but most importantly, what was going to happen in this building, and the collaboration, the consistency that we were going to be having, the excellence that we were going to be having, and it's been fantastic because every single day I work next to physical therapists, I work next to athletic trainers, orthopedic surgeons are walking down and seeing what we're doing. We have nutritionists here in the building, we have wellness coaches, we do mindfulness. So being able to be around all of those people and try and steal a little bit from them every day has been a fantastic experience. So we'll get into that a little bit more. Like I said, I did my master's degree in sports psych, And I also went on a 2-year journey to become a certified mental performance consultant through the Association for Applied Sports Psychology. So this is a great opportunity to work under a licensed clinical sports psychologist out of New Jersey who worked in Major League Baseball, NFL, NHL, and I was able to sit on his hip and just learn from him for 2 years, so it was fantastic. Our main goal is really increasing performance and then the enjoyment of sport. It's that simple, okay? I can't tell you how many athletes I came in as freshmen, they're already burned out. Like, what's up with that? That's not okay. You should be in love with this sport. You're 17, 18 years old. You're in your prime. So my goal is to get people to love their sport and increase their performance. Now, most importantly, make sure you understand, I am not a sports psychologist, okay? I have my master's degree in it, but in order to be a sports psychologist, you have to have your PhD. Someday, I will be a sports psychologist, so I'm working towards that. So mission with athletes. Number one, injury risk reduction, getting them stronger so we reduce the likelihood of injury. Next, athletic development, help them be better on the field, on the court, in the pool, wherever you're participating on the slopes, we want to get you better there. And then lastly, like I said, mental toughness. So what is mental performance? Okay, we're trying to use skills to perform, number one, consistently. Okay, without a show of hands, I'm sure many of you have said, man, I wish I could be a little bit more consistent in my performance. I played great last weekend. The weekend before, I played terrible. What's up with that? What's going on? I can't tell you how many parents or coaches I've had come and say, you know, I wish my players were a little bit more consistent. So we're going to work on that. We're going to work on exercise adherence. So maybe you're not somebody participating in sport anymore. That's okay. How can we increase our adherence to exercise so we can increase our overall well-being and health? And then we want to realize our potential. So many times I've seen athletes come in as freshmen or sophomores in college, and you just see the talent they have. I mean, they can run like the wind, they can jump through the roof, they're strong, and they've never even done any training in their life. But yet they don't hit their ceiling. They never maximize themselves. So our job is to really, as parents, coaches, educators, our job is to maximize potential in people. To me, that's success. And then we're going to work on goal setting, concentration, motivation, relaxation, imagery. And where else can this be used? Not only in athletics, but what do you guys think? Academics, bingo, life, parenting. Absolutely. Mental performance is strictly performance. You want to perform better in anything? Let's use it. So let's talk about your why. Like I said, we've got athletes, coaches, parents, exercise enthusiasts here. We talked about confidence. How about mistakes? Recovering from mistakes. Maybe you're a soccer goalkeeper and you just let in a goal. You know, maybe you're a baseball or softball player and you just drop the ball. How can we bounce back from that? We're going to talk about that tonight. How are we going to be able to control our nerves before a big competition? We'll talk about that as well. And what else? What do you guys want to get out of tonight? This is about you. This is about this room being filled, which is really fires me up. I love it. But what else do you want to learn? Anything? Yes?
How to keep going when you want to stop.
Oh, I like it. How to keep going when you want to stop. What else? All right, I'll read your minds and we'll work on it. So what is mental performance? How about the video? What did you see? Anybody? What did you see in the video? Testing? Yep. Focus. People moving. Yes. Motion is lotion. Good form. And you know what? We don't always see good form. Sometimes we see really poor form, and it's our job as coaches to make that form better, okay? But I think the biggest thing you should take away from that is there are some awesome athletes in that video, but I guarantee you every single one of them approaches their sport or their performance in a different manner. I look at it like this. Some people have to listen to really hard rock or hip-hop music before a game. They got to get up, right? Other people, they need to chill out. They need to listen to some jazz, maybe some James Taylor. Anybody know what James Taylor is? Not the front row, in the back. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so the key is we're all different, but you got to find what works for you. So the use of mental training. This first line's for any coaches, parents in the room. And I steal it from Heather Mason. She's the head strength conditioning coach at Ohio State, and she worked at University of Tennessee women's basketball under Pat Summitt, if anybody knows that name in the room, legendary. So Heather Mason came to visit me at Seton Hall. We spent a day together. We were hanging out, drinking coffee. I said, Heather, how can I get better as a coach? What should I be doing? She goes, Ryan, it's all about the 3 Ps, people, product, and paper. Okay, and you have to prioritize any day that you're going into work like that. You got to focus on the people first, then your product, and then, yeah, you got to get the paperwork done, but focus on the people first. We want to take a holistic approach, like I mentioned earlier, and then you've got to teach coaches, parents, and athletes, you've got to practice mental toughness. You can't expect it to just show up on game day. It doesn't work like that. You practice it through maybe some of the skills I'll show you tonight, but you also practice it during your training, during your off-season conditioning and strength programs. And what we're going to work on here is we're going to start a mental toughness academy here at Barton Health, and we're really excited for it. I'll talk to you a little bit more about it at the end, but we're going to have sessions to work on everything we're going to talk about tonight, starting July 10th. So I'm going to throw this out to you, and I want you to answer this out loud. What time is it?
Now.
My man. Right now. Why do you know that answer? Because Miss Jewett teaches you that, yeah, and I come every now and again. Right, so everybody, answer, what time is it? Now. Right now. Where are we? Here. Oh, you got that one, nice. You're cheating. Stay in the present moment. That's what it's all about. When we're in the present moment, that's when we excel. That's when we're going to be at our very best, okay? Remember those. You'll be quizzed on it later. Let's talk about goal setting. Goals are like a map, okay? If I'm driving from here to back where I came from originally, New Jersey. Good, nobody made fun of me for that. Thank you. Holding your breath. I've got to have a map, or I've got to have my GPS, right? Or else I might get lost. I might end up in Canada. I might end up down in Mexico. I'm not going to get to New Jersey as quick as I want. I might hit some roadblocks. So goals are your map. You got to have your goals. You got to develop your why. Why are you here? If you don't have an answer to why am I here every day at practice, or every day when you're a parent, or every day when you're a coach, then you've got to figure that out first and foremost. And then with our goals, we want to make sure that we're reviewing them often and we're making them visible. Put them somewhere you're going to see every single day. Maybe next to your bed, on your mirror, if you have a locker, in your locker, okay, in your car. Put it somewhere you're going to see those goals every day. It's a constant reminder that, hey, I'm going to wake up today and I've got something to work towards. So we've got 3 types of goals. We've got outcome goals. So I want to win a championship. By a raise of hands, how many people here at the beginning of a season say, I don't want to win a championship? Thank you. Everybody writes that down, right? Let's get more specific. We've got performance goals. So maybe this is like a personal record in a lift or a running time. Maybe you ran the mile in your best time ever. Okay? You're achieving your own standard. So that's something that you want to achieve. That's great. We got dialed in a little bit. Now we've got process goals. So those are things like controlling your breath, setting your feet for this next play. These are focusing on actions that we want to perform well on, okay? Process. Focus on the process. If you take nothing else away from tonight, focus on the process, not just the outcome. Everybody wants to win the championship. You got to know how you're going to get there, and that's from every day focusing on the process. So goals and self-talk. I love this quote. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. How many people wake up in the morning and say, man, I am tired? Come on, we've all done it. I should see every hand up. Instead of saying, I am tired, sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. How about I am ready? I am awake. I'm going to win the day. It's really important self-talk and how you use that every single day, okay? So let's just touch on that a little bit.
He is not one of the greats yet.
It's about titles.
1, 2, 3.
Can Curry deliver? You looked overwhelmed out there.
want to go back and what's that say?
Train the mind, the body will follow.
Remember that. It's important. Okay, so talking about our goals, how do we write them down? So if we look at this sheet here, this is a goal sheet I love to use with anyone really. If you look on the far left-hand side by that gold arrow, we have our dream goal. Think big here. What do you want to achieve? Go for it. In the middle, those 4 blocks, we have things that we need to improve upon in order to achieve that dream goal. So say this player, she wants to improve her concentration. Now on the far right-hand side, this is her self-talk. Things that she says to herself. There's no place I'd rather be. I keep myself together no matter what. I am the most relaxed player on the field. I am in my own world, and I make things happen. Again, the power of I am. I can't tell you how many people, when I say, hey, write down what you're going to say inside your own head, they say, I don't take plays off. I don't make mistakes. They're focusing on what they're already going to do negatively, right? We want to focus on the things that we're going to do positively in order to achieve our goal on the far left-hand side there. I promise you, I did not do this presentation today. So this presentation was done yesterday and the day before. Anybody watch the game today? Ronaldo, hat trick, confidence. It's perfect, it worked out. All right, so confidence is all about our thoughts, both positive and negative. In this quote, I see myself as the best footballer in the world. If you don't believe you're the best, then you will never achieve all you're capable of. That's what it's all about. Confidence comes down to outcome explanation. So when you have good outcomes, you should attribute those to my efforts, talents from working hard. Those things are permanent. They're going to last all the time. I earned that goal because I work an extra 10 minutes on finishing every single day. And if you have tough outcomes, maybe you lost a game, you didn't play well, we attribute that to external sources. You know what? I just had a bad day. It's temporary, whatever. Next play. Let's move on. Steph Curry, he is the epitome of next play. He shoots, he misses, give him the ball again. He's shooting again. And guess what? He's going to drain it when you need it most. You saw that in the NBA Finals. Coaches, parents, increase confidence by having clear expectations and job descriptions. If they don't know what they're supposed to do, they're out there in that kind of, I'm not really sure mode, and that's never good. Reward effort. Consistent and honest feedback all the time. Even if it's not great. Hey, they didn't play well, let them know. That's okay. Stats, not just how many goals you scored or how fast your time was, but how many tackles did they win? How many head balls did they win if they're a soccer player? Again, reward effort. So look at those stats, effort-based. And then we want to make sure we're creating an environment of growth, foster that growth process. I've used testing a lot in the past. And here's an example. So our men's soccer team at Seton Hall, all their names are on the left-hand side. All the different tests are up across the top. And if they have a lot of red next to their name, that means they're below the team average in that specific test. Now, one could say that, that's going to make them feel bad. That's going to hurt their feelings. No, that's being honest. This is where you are, Johnny. You've got a lot of red next to you. What are you going to do about it? So then, Johnny comes in. We start working, okay? He or she comes in, we do some corrective exercise, or we do some overtime training. They spend 10, 15, 20 minutes after practice every single day with their coach. They do some extra work on nutrition. Maybe they work on their sleep habits, okay? But they're working to improve themselves. I love using this, and this is a great tool for anybody in this room. It's called a vision board. And this was a women's basketball player, and she went through a lot of different medical issues. She had a great junior year. End of her junior year, some things came up. She ended up not being able to perform at the level she wanted to. So we had to get some positivity back in her life. So I was like, what can we do? Let's create a vision board. What's your favorite quote, Libertia? She gave it to me. We wrote it down. What pictures do you love? Well, I've always wanted to go to Spain. Boom, let's put it up there. Who's important in your life? My mom is. Great, let's put it on there. She wanted to improve her nutrition, so we got a picture of that as well. Her favorite player. Then we got some photos of her crushing it in basketball games. She put that up on her mirror next to her goals, in her locker next to her goals. And she was visualizing that, seeing it every single day. Her senior year, she came back and crushed it. It was awesome. Probably one of the best moments I've ever had as a coach. We also do things such as wellness check-ins. This is simple, easy to do as players, coaches, parents. Now we have some documented things. We can see if there's any patterns going on. Maybe they're really struggling in a certain area. Keep them quick, no more than 30 seconds. And here's an example. So I know our youth likes to communicate via emoji, so I try and speak their language. Simple questions. How'd you sleep last night? How refreshed do you feel? How many hours did you sleep? What's your body feel like? How's your current stress level? Include things and think holistically, right? How's school going? How's relationships? How's friendships? How's your sport? What's going on? And then over time, if you see a lot of ones and down at the bottom they're right, man, math class, math class, math class. Well, it's my job if I see that. I'm walking down, I'm seeing our academic advisor. Hey, Matt, you know what? Libertia, she's really struggling in math class. What do you think we can do? Boom, next thing you know, she's got a support system. We're back on track. Different tools. We have a great mindfulness class that's going on right now, actually, in the glass window room over there. So come to a mindfulness class. We have it here at Barton. It's awesome. I did it a couple weeks ago. You'll really enjoy it. Different apps you can use, such as Breathe or MyFitnessPal. You can track different nutritional things. Sleep patterns is great. And then we also have Headspace. So if you guys are up for it, Headspace is an app you can download for free. We'll just try it for a minute. If you're interested, you can sit, relax, try it. If not, you can sit, just chill out. Let me lower this.
And comfortably, just taking a big deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. As you breathe in, noticing how the body expands. As you breathe out, just watching the body soften as you gently close the eyes. And rather than the mind leading the breath, allow the breath to lead the mind. Notice the sensation of the breath. Notice it where you feel it in the body. If you need to, you can just gently place your hand on the stomach. And just following that rising and falling sensation. Nothing else to do. Allowing thoughts to come and go. And when you're ready, just gently opening the eyes again.
Anybody want to share how that was for them? Relaxing. What else? Go on, be honest. Weird. I'm in a room with 100 people and we're all sitting. This is kind of weird. Yeah, it's a little weird at first if you've never done it. But there's so much research out there that says mindfulness, meditation is going to help reduce stress. It's going to help you stay in that present moment. And the more and more you read about athletics and anybody performing at their highest level, a lot of people do it. So give it a try. Why not? How many people had different thoughts coming in and out of their head? Like, man, what am I going to have for dinner? When's this guy going to shut up? It's normal. It's natural. But a big part of meditation is just recognizing those thoughts, saying, oh, yeah, that was a thought, and then coming back to the present moment. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But imagine if you're in a game or you're coaching or you're parenting and you understand, you're like, yeah, man, I'm a little agitated right now. I'm getting frustrated with people. Just that awareness allows you to maybe change your behavior so you can perform at a higher level. Wellness tools, you got to build an army. So how? The way I look at this is we have a great staff here in the Center for Orthopedics and Wellness. And sure, we all have different days when we come in here, but at the end of the day, every single one of us is trying to enhance our patients' or our clients' experience. That's the main goal, is to make everybody who walks in here leave feeling better than when they came in. And again, like I said in the beginning, it comes down to relationships. So things that we've done in the past is staff training. And one of our physical therapist assistants here, Seabass, if anybody knows him, he does training every Friday morning. A lot of times our staff hops in. And, we all train together, we work out together, and it's amazing the bond that you start to create with the people around you. So maybe within your own team, you start training with one another. Communicate with various departments. We can all learn from one another. Where can this happen? In the college sector, it always happened at competitions, but hallways, traveling, end of the year banquets. So build an army, if you're a parent, around your child so that you know as much as you can about them, but then you also know that you have allies to help them out when it's needed most. And kids, you guys got to build an army with your teammates, okay, with your parents, with your coaches, so that you can be as strong as possible. Communication is going to be crucial for this to happen. And coaches, parents, you've got to meet often with your kids, with your athletes, figure out what's going on with them. Athletes, you've got to ask your coaches, hey, can I chat with you today after practice? Make sure it's at the right time, but communicate early and often with them. If something's not right, don't just whine about playing time. Talk to them. Hey, coach, how can I get better at it? So communicate. Have those conversations. You'd be really surprised how much respect you're going to get if you do that. Work on your listening skills. Okay, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen to people. Okay, listen. And then again, coaches and parents, there's a great organization called Toastmasters that is fantastic for working on communication skills. They have one over at State Line. It goes every Monday night. But it's a really great tool if you've never looked into it to work on communication, public speaking, and most importantly, listening. So let's talk about people or athletes who are injured, like myself. So I say that very specifically, people, athletes who are injured, not injured athletes or injured people. Put the person first, okay? Put the athlete first or second. Really focus on the person first, okay? This is a loss to them. They can't play the sport that they love the most, or they can't participate in life the way that they want to the most. They may feel alienated, so you got to keep them involved. I've seen so many coaches do a great job when somebody gets injured. Hey, you know what? Yeah, you're out at practice today, absolutely. If you can be out there physically, I want you out there. Yep, you're going to dish the basketball. You're going to be the passer today. Work on that. What can you continue to work on? Keep them involved with the team. Emphasize the goals, the self-talk, and the wellness that we just talked about. Celebrate the small victories along the way. If somebody just blew their ACL and they're not going to be back for maybe 6 to 9 months, they can't just focus on 6 or 9 months. They got to celebrate, hey, you know what? I just gained some range of motion in my knee. Okay, got some swelling down. Hey, great job, high five. Keep it rolling. And what is it an opportunity to get better at? If you busted up your arm, maybe you can get faster at running or increase your conditioning, increase your leg strength. Find something to get better at, but do not just sit around. Coaches, parents, get them involved. Kids, take a proactive. Focus on what you can do. This is a great opportunity to connect with that person on a whole different level. Again, person first, player second. There's going to be ups and downs even after they return. And be honest. Hey, you know what? This is going to be hard. The next 4 weeks are going to be brutal. Be honest with them. Let them know so they know what's coming up, and then develop a game plan so they can maximize themselves throughout that. But also, we got to stay positive with them. Books, movies, YouTube channels that work on motivational quotes, or just get stuff in front of them that gets them fired up and gets them moving every single day. We may come back to the injury video. Take an active process in the rehab, not just, hey, when are you back? When are you back? Focus on, hey, how can you contribute today? It's really important. So managing anxiety and nerves. A lot of times after an injury, during an injury, before a big competition, this is completely normal. Like I said, some people got to fire it up a little bit. Some people need to tone it down. That's individual for every single person in this room. Focus on, if you're nervous, what are you nervous about? What are you really nervous about? I'm nervous about making a mistake, coach. Okay, what happens if you make a mistake? I don't know, the other team might get the ball and score on us. Or I might not have the run of my life. Or yada, yada, yada. Okay, so what happens if you don't make that great pass or you lose the ball? Well, take them down that path. At the end of the day, is anybody really getting hurt throughout this? Put it into perspective. How do you know? How do you know you're nervous? Any examples of whenever you're nervous? Come on. Palms are sweaty, heart's racing, beating out of your chest, maybe shaking a little bit. So again, develop that awareness. Okay, hey, you know what? I'm a little bit nervous right now. Develop that awareness and then have a game plan for it, okay? Again, having that process, not outcome-oriented mindset, and then making sure that you have routines prior to. Some people call them rituals. Anybody have a good routine that they do before a game or before a competition or before a big performance? Come on, somebody be brave.
I visualize the outcome.
Visualize the outcome. Great. How's that work for you?
Not always how I want it to, but
Uh-huh.
at least it calms me and has me kind of more focused on the next step.
Awesome. Good. Anybody else? Somebody said something over here. Stretching? Yeah, what's that do for you?
Gets the muscles ready.
Yep. Part of your warm-up. That's great. And then using breathing relaxation techniques, just like that headspace, okay? Failure. How many people here have failed in this room? Yep. All of us, okay? Failure is feedback. It's a teachable moment. I know we've got a lot of soccer players in here. Who's ready for the Kufa tournament? Yeah, I'm excited to watch you all play. We'll all be out there tomorrow supporting you. There's a great quote from Abby Wambach. Every time you fall down, it's an opportunity to question yourself, question your integrity. It's not about the actual failure itself. It's about how you respond to it. One of the best soccer players in the world. Okay, it's how you respond to it. How quickly do you get up, and what are you going to do with it? Can you learn from it? If you learn from it, then you're good to go. It's going to be part of sport and part of life. So failure, mistakes. Mistakes are going to be part of the game. Coaches, teammates, support them through those mistakes. I'll give you a great example, and I'll embarrass the heck out of myself right now. So it's my senior year playing in college. We're playing against Boston University, and I'm the goalkeeper, right? It's tied 1-1. It's like 20 minutes left in the game. Guy hits a shot, easy, routine save, right? Coming right at me on the ground. You all know the type. Boop! Right through my legs into the goal. Oh, no. It was so incredibly corny, but my coach yells out, "Ryan, you're a great goalkeeper." I wanted to yell back, "Coach, I hate you right now." But you know what? That support, it kind of made me laugh a little bit. And then all my teammates came up, "Hey, Ryan, we're going to get it back. No worries, man. We got you. We got you. We got you." You know what? Somebody on my team stepped up, scored a goal, tied, went into overtime, all for support when your teammates are down, okay? Have rituals when you make mistakes. A grass technique. Whenever I let up a goal, I'd pick up a piece of grass. I'd be really angry. And I'd take that piece of grass. I'd say, okay, I can be angry right now, but now I'm going to let it go. And I just throw the piece of grass. And for me, that was a way just to like brush it off my shoulders, okay? Some people literally during the game, they do this. Or maybe you have a headband. Fix the headband. Tuck in your shirt. Pull up your sock. What do you have something that works well for you? Okay, that's a ritual that's going to help you get over that mistake because you got to get back in that present moment as quick as you can. Guide them as coaches. Make sure you guide them on this and parents, but make them come up with it. If you say, "Hey, you should do this," they're going to be like, "Yeah, okay," and they're never going to do it. So it's all about stepping up. Here's a great book. It's called Mindset. I highly recommend it to everybody in this room here. It's fantastic. It talks about having a growth mindset, okay? And the premise of having a growth mindset is seeing effort as a path to mastery, not just talent. So I work hard, therefore I'm going to be great at this. And a way we can implement this is, I see it all the time when I'm training people. You know what? I'm not good at this. Or I can't do this. What if you finish that sentence with yet? I can't do it yet. I'm not good at it yet, but I'm going to practice this thing, and I'm going to get better at it every single day I'm in here working out. And in a few weeks or a month or a year, I'm going to be a lot better at it. So having that growth mindset is huge. Success. Seen a lot of people get success quickly, and then down they go. When you reach that success, don't forget about all the hard work you've done in the past. Keep working. Use it as motivation. You got to learn to have a target on your back, okay? I'll use an example. Our men's basketball team at Seton Hall, they were just walked all over for the past 10 years. Okay, and then a couple years ago, we got a really good freshman class in. 5 guys who they could ball. One's playing in the NBA right now. And they started getting really good, a lot of attention. But they were young, freshmen, sophomores, and they didn't know how to handle it at first. Okay, their egos got inflamed. They thought they were the man walking around campus, and then they played Villanova. And Villanova put them in their place quick. All right? But by the time they got to their junior year, I think it was their junior year. Yeah, their junior year, they beat Villanova on a last-second shot in the Big East Championship at Madison Square Gardens with the whole place packed because they learned from their sophomore year, okay? So learn how to have a target on your back. Stay humble and hungry, and make sure to remember those hard times you were going through before you had that success. So if we're going to walk away with anything today, I thought maybe if you had 1 or 2 of these things, you'd be all set. Notice your self-talk, what it is. That's the first step. Notice it. How's it going? What are you saying? Is it positive? Is it constructive? And then start to create it. The power of I am. I am strong. I am brave. We say that to my little niece. She's 3 years old. And anytime we ask her, hey, what are you? I am strong. I am brave. It's the coolest thing in the world. Of course I want you to be strong and brave. Focus on the process. Not just the outcome. Focus on the process, and that will allow you to enjoy that process. Stay in the present moment, okay? Most of our worries, fears, anxiety happens because you're worried about something that's going to happen that may never happen, or something in the past that you can't change, okay? Stay in that present moment, and then make sure you practice those mental skills. So your why, did we achieve it? And if not, tell me, and I'll try and do my best to do it right now. So what's next? Our awesome director of coaching in the back, Nick Ward, always asks me, what's next, Rye? What's next? So next for us is we're going to develop a mental toughness academy. Okay, July 10th, 17th, and the 24th, we're going to have an hour-long session. It's going to be limited in the amount of applicants to come in, but we're going to work on your goals. We're going to get specific to you. This is open to anybody in this room. Younger, older, coach, parent, athlete, exercise enthusiast, anybody who wants to join, we can make that happen for you, okay? If you're interested in that, we have Sarah Foreman in the back. Thank you, Sarah. And Lorraine, who greeted you at the front desk. She can sign you up. We'll also give you some flyers so you can sign up online if you're interested in that. Barton Performance by Altus. We have that program for youth now, okay? It's up and running. It's 12 years old and up, but if you're younger and you really want in, come talk to us, okay? We'll see how serious you are, and if you're really into it, maybe we can make it happen for you as well. So that'll be training, again, to reduce the risk of injury, help develop that mental toughness so you can enjoy your sport a whole lot more. And then mindfulness practice. Again, we have that here at Barton, so look into that if you're interested in it. 2 questions. I told you you'd be quizzed. What time is it? Now. Good. Where are we? Here. Good. Questions? Come on, we got to have 1 or 2.
My main question is figuring out, just thinking from a coach perspective, each athlete is so different. And how they look at the game, how they perceive what I'm telling them to. So that feedback is hard for me sometimes with some athletes.
Yep.
Because I can tell them 4 great, like, atta-girls.
Yeah.
And 1, like, hey, this is what we need to work on, and they focus on that 1. And they're stuck there. And so helping those athletes where they're stuck and they are, this is negative, this is negative, this is, I'm just looking for something where I can maybe change the script to them or help them change the script to themselves.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it comes down to figuring out what their why is. Why are they here? Maybe they don't really know it. Maybe they're there just because they feel like they should be. But number 1, figure out what their why is, what motivates them. And I know that takes a lot of time, especially when you're one coach, you have a whole lot of athletes, and maybe you don't have the time that you wish you had with them. But the more time that you can spend doing those individual player meetings with them, developing their goals, and make them do some of the work, you know? Have goal sheets, sit down, do it as a team, and then that's something you can pull back out. And maybe you can, I find that's always useful for me when training is pulling out their goal sheet, especially with somebody who might be struggling a little bit, and then bringing that right into training. Hey, Madison, you know what? You told me that you really wanted to work on X, Y, and Z, but your behaviors aren't really showing that. What's up? Okay, and sometimes that'll stimulate a conversation, allow you to take it down that path. You use your great listening skills as a coach, and you can kind of tap into what might be helping them out.
So
Focus on the why, figure out what their goals are. Yeah, and then it's hard. You know what? As a coach, you cannot change your personality in a team session to every single athlete. You have to coach to your strengths and what they are. But at the same time, then when they're walking off the court and they're going to their car, maybe you take that 1 or 2 minutes, walk them over to their car, and I tried to do that every week with our basketball and soccer teams, where I'd target 1 or 2 different athletes and just, hey, all right, make sure you spend like 2 minutes with them at the end. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? So for me, that was big on just getting a touch point, a personal touch point with each one. Yeah. What else? Yeah.
Could she use a growth mindset kind of approach to those types of athletes that focus on the negative?
Yep, absolutely. And writing out, you'll see a lot when you do their goal sheet, and they write down, I don't do this, I don't do that. Everything's avoid, 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 avoid. And then you got to work really hard with them to change that on paper first. That's not going to translate right away. That's going to take weeks, months, right? But then you incorporate that into practice. After they do a play, hey, what was going on there? What'd you say in your head? I noticed on your goal sheet you said, I'm in the present moment. I'm focusing on the next play when they make a mistake. Hey, next play, next play. Quick little phrases that'll help them through practice. Growth mindset, absolutely. What else? All right. Well, thank you all for coming. We're going to do anybody who's in, oh, thanks. Obviously, I'm not passionate about this at all. I get kind of fired up. But so pumped you're all here. For me, this is like my dream. I want to be doing this all the time. And Chris said to me when I first met with him, he was like, you know, in the center, it's going to be the coolest thing ever. We're going to let people do exactly what they are so passionate about, because that's going to maximize our Center for Orthopedics and Wellness. And true to his word, we're up here, we're getting this thing done. This, to me, is the coolest thing in the world. So come out, do the academy. And then anybody who's interested in a facility tour, our handsome coaching director in the Altus shirt over there, gray shirt. He just stepped out, I'm sorry. Nick would love to take you down, show you the facility, all of our restoration tools, and all of our training tools that we do, okay? Thanks so much. Have a great night. Good luck at Kufa.